Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will immerse ourselves in City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, published in 2012, is the fifth installment in the Mortal Instruments series. A riveting urban fantasy set in a world teeming with Shadowhunters, Downworlders, and demons, the novel continues the saga of Clary Fray as she battles to save Jace Herondale, whose soul is now bound to her diabolical brother, Sebastian Morgenstern. The stakes are higher than ever as love, loyalty, and identity are tested amidst an apocalyptic threat to humanity. Plot summary. The streets of New York were drenched in shadow, and for Clary Fray, the world had never felt darker. Jace was gone, stolen away alongside Sebastian Morgenstern, her ruthless and twisted brother. Lilith's dark magic had left an indelible mark, binding Jace and Sebastian in a sinister link. To harm one was to harm the other, and the boy she loved now moved as a puppet to her brother's will. The Clave, seeing Sebastian as the greater threat, began deprioritizing the search for Jace. But Clary refused to accept that fate. Among the scattered pieces of their lives, Simon, Isabel, Alec, and Magnus rallied around her. Together, they resolved to find Jace and unravel the dark bond. The Seelie Queen, enigmatic and dangerous, offered a potential lead but demanded a price: 2 fairy-crafted rings stolen from the Institute. With the Queen's veiled promises lingering in their minds, Clary and her friends ventured into uncertain moral territory, risking their trust in the fair folk to gain a chance at saving Jace. Meanwhile, Jace and Sebastian traveled the world under the guise of camaraderie. Clary, desperate to be near Jace, infiltrated their circle by pretending to align with Sebastian. She joined them on their journey, observing her brother's grand plan unfold. Sebastian sought to raise an army of endarkened Shadowhunters, warriors corrupted by demonic influence, who would rise against the Nephilim. Jace, under Sebastian's influence, was both the perfect lieutenant and the unwitting pawn in this apocalyptic design. Clary witnessed firsthand the depth of Sebastian's depravity. He wielded charm as effortlessly as cruelty, his every move calculated to manipulate or destroy. Clary clung to hope, believing the real Jace still existed beneath the darkness. With great care, she began planting the seeds of rebellion within him, hoping to awaken his true self. At the same time, Simon, Isabel, Alec, and Magnus worked tirelessly to sever the bond between Jace and Sebastian. Their quest led them to the Iron Sisters, master weaponsmiths of the Shadowhunter world. They sought a celestial blade capable of cutting the link without killing Jace. In the sisters' forge, they learned the harsh truth of the sword's cost. Angelic intervention was required, and success was far from guaranteed. Despite the odds, they pressed on, each carrying the weight of Jace's life on their shoulders. In the labyrinthine halls of Sebastian's growing army, Clary's resolve was tested. Sebastian, ever the master manipulator, sought to win her over, speaking of their shared blood and the glory they could achieve together. Clary resisted, her heart anchored to the memory of Jace's love and her loyalty to the Shadowhunters. Sebastian's affection for her, twisted as it was, made her position precarious. She treaded a fine line between subterfuge and survival, all the while searching for an opportunity to strike. The celestial blade was forged, its edge gleaming with the promise of redemption. Simon, bearing the mark of Cain, faced his own trials as he contemplated using his cursed power to protect those he loved. Isabel, her fierce exterior hiding the depths of her heart, stood beside him, their bond growing stronger amid the chaos. Alec and Magnus, too, wrestled with the complexities of their relationship, the war magnifying their fears and vulnerabilities. The final confrontation loomed as Clary uncovered Sebastian's target, a holy place sacred to the Shadowhunters. His army would strike there, desecrating its sanctity and obliterating their enemies. Clary, torn between fear and determination, smuggled vital information to her friends, setting the stage for the clash. The battle was both swift and devastating. Clary, armed with the celestial blade, faced the impossible task of saving Jace while thwarting Sebastian. The bond between the brothers pulsed like a living thing, resisting every attempt to sever it. At the critical moment, Jace, stirred by Clary's unwavering belief in him, fought back against Sebastian's control. The celestial blade struck true, severing the connection and freeing Jace, though it left him gravely injured. Sebastian fled, his ambitions thwarted but his menace far from extinguished. Clary cradled Jace as he regained his senses, his golden eyes filled with pain and guilt. He was free, but the scars of his time under Sebastian's influence lingered. The Shadowhunters, battered but unbroken, regrouped. The bonds of love and friendship had been tested, some strained nearly to breaking, but they held. Jace, though haunted, found solace in Clary's arms, while Simon, Isabel, Alec, and Magnus began to pick up the pieces of their lives. Yet, the threat of Sebastian remained, a shadow on the horizon that promised the battle was far from over. In the quiet aftermath, Clary stood with her friends, the weight of what they had endured pressing heavily upon them. The sun rose over New York, a fragile promise of peace that felt as fleeting as the morning light. They had won this battle, but the war against darkness, both external and within themselves, would continue. That's it for today, but if you're craving more, dive into the rest of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. The details are in the description, or just search on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Cassandra Clare's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.